Welcome to Raincross Farms Makery. My name is Robin. Behind the camera, behind the computer is my husband Bill, helping me out with comments and camera angles and all of that good stuff. So welcome to our segment on Craft Round the Clocks, a little mini marathon, grocery store trash to treasure. Let me get this up and going, and I will be ready to take care of a little bit of housekeeping here. That up. That's ready to go. How is everybody? It is a beautiful morning here we are in Idaho. We got about 6 to 8 inches of snow overnight, so it is just beautiful outside. Oh, hello. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Patty. Welcome. Okay, so our is these bags. And let me tell you, we got, for our Christmas present to ourselves, we got a freeze dryer. So we have been busy freeze drying candy, Skittles. We haven't had a lot of luck with chocolate, but so this would just normally get, in fact, I pulled these out of the trash can, and we are going to make a pouch, a zippered pouch out of these bags. These are this really thick plastic, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I don't want to run out of time, so we are going to get started on it right away. Let me show you a finished one I did. This is from an M&M's pouch, and it's got this little zipper. It makes this cute little change purse. You could put your license and your credit cards in there. And anyway, so we're going to make one of these. So you start with one of these bags. I'm going to use this bag. You can kind of make them whatever size you want. These would make smaller bags. This would make a much bigger bag. But we are going to do this bag right here, Skittles. And I'm going to start by just kind of rinsing it off a little bit, because it did come out of the trash can. Now we're going to kind of stiffen up, reinforce this plastic. So I'll show you how we do that. You know what? Ooh, that had vinegar in it. That's okay. We use vinegar to clean, right? Okay, so I am going to trim off the sides of this, trying to keep it square. So I've got my rotary cutter. You could do it with scissors. That's just fine. Hello. You can sell those. I'm going to try to. Okay, so I'm going to trim that edge off. Make sure I got it all. Yeah. And I'm going to try and keep this squared up. That right about. That's not square.
When you're positioning that to cut it, you're setting the front of your
I'm just kind of
front of your bag.
I'm just kind of taking the graphic on the front of the bag, and kind of got that squared. And I'm trying to get as much of the bag as possible. But again, that depends on how big of a little pouch you want to make. And I'm going to go right underneath that Ziploc zipper, because we don't want that. I'm going to cut off that, and then I'm going to take this flap out and line it up.
Patsy says she just started following us.
Yay, thank you.
And Patty says, hello, Penny. There's Jackie Vance. Hi, Jackie.
Hello, Jackie.
Haven't seen you in a while.
It's the middle of the night for you, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. we normally go on in the evening. So I've got front and back of these cut out. Now it did kind of have some sugary goodness inside, so I'm going to take my paper towel and just kind of clean that off. Okay. So I've got these plastic pieces. This is thick, heavy plastic, but if I go to sew it, it's I just don't trust it to be super sturdy. So I'm going to line it with, this is fusible vinyl. This is Pellon brand 102 vinyl fuse, and they have it in matte and they have it in gloss. This is the matte, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this and kind of measure this out.
We'll back up some comments here. Kimberly says, hello, I'm new here. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Jackie says it's 6 p.m. there.
6 p.m. Okay.
And then Janice says, first time watching, glad to have you. Debbie says she's a newbie. Jackie, you're both well. Thanks for asking. I hope you had a great holiday, Christmas, New Year, and all that.
So this is actually about 5 3/4 of an inch. So I'm right-handed, so I'm going to turn it over on this direction, and I am going to cut this at 5 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to turn this so I can get the entire length. 5 3/4. That aside, and then this is, how wide is this? This is about 7 inches, 7 inches wide. So I'm going to trim this at 7 inches.
Lorraine says she's new and she's from Colorado Springs.
Welcome. You've got some chilly weather too. What did I say? 7 inches?
And did I
Let me
already
double
say?
check.
Did I already say April print?
I don't
April says
think
she's a
so.
newbie from Alberta, Canada.
Woo! Welcome, April from
And
Canada.
Kathy says first time watching, now following. Well, thank you. Where are you from, Kathy? And let's see, who else?
Okay, this is
Lenora Wilson
extra.
says
I'm going to
first
save
time
that
watching.
scrap. These are the same size as my bags. And I'm going to set that aside. And one other thing we're going to do, I'm going to cut the lining while we're here. So I just got any kind of fabric will do for a lining. I got this at the Dollar Tree. And I liked that purple.
Jackie says she missed it. What are we making?
We are making, do I have my sample? We are making a zippered pouch out of a candy bag. So this is my little sample. This was out of an M&M's bag. So that's what I'm showing you how to make. Now this needs a quick pressing. I'm just going to press it real quick. My iron isn't up very hot, and I have that way on purpose.
Hi, Teresa Adams.
Am I doing on time?
Lenora says she's from Gulf Coast of Mississippi.
Awesome.
Beautiful Gulf Coast of Mississippi.
Hmm.
And Michelle then said just started falling from San Francisco. Glad to have you, Michelle.
Okay, and again, we want this at, what did we say? 5 3/4. Pretty straight. Oh, maybe not. Now, you don't have to use a rotary cutter. You could just do scissors.
Kimberly says she's from sunny Southern California.
Woohoo! What
Where
part?
at, Kimberly?
We are ex-Southern California-ers. Set that aside. And
Yeah.
then 7 inches.
The Danimal is watching and saying that Tip will like this one.
I might have to send her one.
Dan, you need to learn how to make it, so watch Mom do it.
7 inches, and I'm going to do 14 inches. Okay, you do not have to line it, but as long as we're going to do it, let's do a good job.
Good morning, Patty.
So I have my Skittles papers cut as big as I can get them, or as big as I want them. I have fusible vinyl cut to that exact same size, and then I have 2 pieces of fabric, which are going to be my lining. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to attach this. I'm going to end up ironing it, but this is my little trick. Let me grab this. I have an ink mat. This is from Chalk Couture. It's a lot like a Cricut mat. And this is just going to help keep any little bubbles out because I'm going to be fusing these together. So I'm going to put this down. This is just going to hold it in place. And I'm going to start this without any bubbles. This is optional. You could just lay it down. You could tape it down if you wanted to. And then I'm going to take my fusible vinyl, and there is a sheet that is attached to it. You're just going to peel that off, and then one side is sticky. It's like contact paper, only it's meant to fuse. So I'm going to take that, line it up as close as possible, and I'm going to lay it down and try to not get any bubbles, which I didn't do. I have bubbles there. So I'm going to pick it up. It's a light adhesive, so I can pick it up and reposition it if I need to. And I like to start with one end and then just kind of work my way down, keeping bubbles out of it. And this is actually a little bit longer. I'm going to take something flat and just make sure I have all of the bubbles out of there.
That's from the center out, right?
Just from the
what
center
if they don't
out.
have a sticky background like you
You
have
can just
there?
you can just put it down on paper. It just doesn't hold it as well. You could tape your piece down to keep it flat. It's not super crucial. In fact, let me do the next one without my sticky mat, just so you can see how to do it. But if you have a Cricut or a Cricut mat or a chalk mat, so here this is stuck on, not permanently though. So here's one. I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to flatten it out as much as I can. I'm going to peel off the paper back. I'm not going to need that again. And then I'm going to lay this down. Now, because it's not stuck on that mat, it kind of wants to scoot around, and that's okay. Take your time. We're not in a hurry. Same thing, push that down. And I'm going to take something flat and just go from the inside out, making sure I've removed all the bubbles.
But just because I haven't said anything, Kimberly says she's from South Corona.
South Corona?
Yeah, so we're
Oh, awesome.
I sent you a message back. We were both born and raised in Riverside.
Okay, now this is a little bit longer than my piece, so I'm just so I don't have extra sticky stuff, I'm just going to kind of trim that so they're the same size. Now, again, plastic with fusible vinyl over the top. Now I'm gonna, if I had an ironing board, I don't, this is my ironing pad, and I don't want it to melt onto my iron, so I'm putting down some parchment paper on the bottom.
Paper, parchment paper.
Parchment paper. Parchment paper, not wax paper. And I have my iron set at low, and I'm going to press it on for about 8 seconds and then pick it up and move it. I'm not going to kind of swish it around. This is, because it's plastic, this is going to want to curl up. So let me show you how I do this. So it's on low, no steam, and let's go this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I don't know what Kimberly
Pick
wrote,
it
but
up.
she wrote something that made her come up with a Christmas
3,
countdown ornament
4,
link.
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
And Teresa
4,
says this is cool.
5, 6, 7, 8. And this is just reinforcing that plastic. Now, it's hot and it's wanting to curl. So I'm going to kind of just hold it between the parchment till it cools off just a little bit, because it won't want to cool as much. It won't want to curl as much when it's a little bit cooler. And I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to just kind of quickly hit it from the back too. Now, you don't want it too high of heat or you will melt your plastic, and you don't want to leave it on for too long because you will melt your plastic. Okay, so careful because it's hot, and I have the plastic fused with that vinyl, so this makes it really, really sturdy. Okay, see, and you can see it's wanting to curl up. That's okay. You can just put something down on top of it, or you can just fuss with it. Okay, let me trim off this little section. This isn't crucial, but this will stick to my parchment paper if I don't trim it off. Okay, same thing. In between 2 layers of parchment, medium, low iron, 8 seconds in a spot.
Now what happens now when you're doing the heat press on your chalk? You have to keep that moving. Do you not have to keep it moving on this one?
No, because it's only on for 8 seconds. Okay, and let's give it a little swipe. And remember, if I peeled it up now, it's going to curl up into a tiny little pretzel. So I'm just kind of holding it here till it cools off a bit. Now, you don't have to do this on plastic bags. You can do this on fabric, and that kind of gives your fabric a little bit of water resistance. Because we're going to be sewing it, we're going to be poking holes in the vinyl, so it won't be like waterproof, but it will give you some water resistant fabric if you do the same thing on fabric. Okay, I turned it over on the back just to kind of give it a quick press from the back, and let that cool just for a second. And here we have our pieces. Now, if you laid it down and scraped out all the bubbles, you probably won't have any bubbles. Even if you do, it's okay. It'll be cute. It'll be great. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. What are you doing? Any questions? I'm going to take a drink of
Not
water.
getting questions, but Brenda's came on and sprinkled. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you for sprinkling. Okay, so next you're going to need a zipper. Now this happens to be just about 7 inches. So I actually got a 7-inch zipper, but some of these are bigger than 7 inches, and I might not be able to get, like if it was 8 inches, I don't think they make 8-inch zippers. They make 9-inch zippers. So I'm going to talk you through real quick how you can shorten a zipper. I think is actually going to be the right size. This is a nylon tooth zipper. You could do a metal tooth. That's okay too. But if I needed to shorten this zipper, what I would do is I would sew just back and forth a really close zigzag stitch over it, and then just cut the rest of the zipper away. You're really just kind of building a stop in there. In fact, this is, even though it is 7 inches, it's a little bit long. So I'm actually going to show you how to do it. So let me get my sewing machine.
April asked, can you make this without sewing, do you think?
You could hand sew it. You could glue it, but I think the glue would eventually separate. The glue, if you did like hot glue or something, I think it would separate from the, but you could definitely probably do it by, sew it by hand. Okay, so let's see. How long do I want this? I'm going to have a seam allowance. I'm going to have a seam allowance. So I'm going to mark it right about there. So I'm going to actually make this about 1 inch shorter. So I'm going to turn on, and I'm going to set this at a very short zigzag stitch. And I'm going to make sure my needle goes on either side of those zippers. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm just going to go like a 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. To build in a stop on that zipper. And I'm sorry, it's not very visible. I don't have a close-up camera on this, but you can see what I did is I just sewed a little stop over that zipper, and now I'm going to just trim. Because it's a nylon zipper, I can just use my scissors. If I was using a metal zipper teeth, I would just need to make sure I clipped in between those metal zipper, or you'll break your scissors. Okay, so first thing, we are going to take this, and I'm actually going to trim this down a bit. I'll do that later. Okay, so I'm going to line up the zipper with the pull towards the right side of my piece, and I'm a pinner. I like to pin things, so I'm just going to put a couple of pins in here. As I sew it. And I'm going to switch to, well, I'm not going to switch. I have a presser foot that is a zipper, so it enables my needle to get closer to the edge of the zipper. So I'm going to take this, actually. I'm going to kind of unzip this just a bit.
Lenore says, thank you for sharing how to make these. I've been wanting to make some for gifts, but couldn't find detailed breakdown on how and the materials. So.
And this this vinyl, I got it at Joann's. They sell it online, but at Joann's right now it's 50% off. And I buy it by the yard where they have interfacing. They also sell it prepackaged. But it's just fusible clear vinyl. Okay, and I do not run over my pins if I can at all help it. Now I've got that zipper pulled down a little bit so it's out of the way. I'm going to zip it back up. So I'm going to lift up that foot, zip it up, put it back down, and continue on sewing.
Jackie, what was your eye scan for, dear? She says she's waiting for the hospital to get back to her about an eye scan.
Uh-oh. back up. And trim. I like to keep my ends trimmed as I go so I don't have a big old hairy mess when I'm done. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So here's one side. I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I'm going to trim that off. So same thing here. I'm going to pin that piece down. All the way to the end.
I don't know what Lenora said either, because it popped up the Christmas countdown ornaments too.
I don't know.
You must have a
I
whole
must
lot
have
of
something.
keywords in there.
Okay.
Well, that's okay. Go look at the Christmas countdown thing.
There you go. Okay, same thing. Close to that zipper. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And when I start to get close to the pole, I'm going to put the needle down. I'm going to lift up my zipper foot, and I'm going to unzip it so that is out of the way. Get past there. Get going. Doesn't want to go. There we go. Okay. Get that down. Finish that off. Okay. Trim my threads. Okay, so now I have the outsides. Now I want to do the lining. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to sandwich the zipper inside between. I'm going to put the right sides together, and I'm going to sandwich the zipper inside there. So here is my front. I'm going to put this right up against there, and the zipper is in between those. I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew directly on that same seam line as the first time I went through it. Make sure that bottom part is down. And I'll do the same thing with that zipper pull. It's back here now, but when I get close to it, I'm going to slide it down. So again, I've got my front, and I've got this whole thing with the zipper sandwiched in there. And I'm going to run another seam right along where I sewed that before.
Sonia says she likes your top.
Thank you.
You know, Sonia, she shed.
Sonia at the
How do
she
you say
shed.
that? How do you say that fast?
You do it very carefully.
Sensations. I got the last word.
Okay, so let's get this. And I'm following that same seam line. And I'm getting close to that zipper pull, so I'm going to put my needle down, and I'm going to lift up the zipper foot. I'm going to lift up the foot, back down, and finish out. Right on that same line.
Thank you, Kimberly. Hi, Cheryl. How was Cheryl?
Hey, Cheryl.
Cheryl comes in late now and she wants to know what you're making.
doing. We are making, this is trash to treasure, so we are using these candy bags, these thick plastic candy bags, and I'm making a zippered pouch out of them. So now I've got my front and I've got my lining and then I've got that zipper sandwiched in there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Got my lining. I'm going to sandwich the zipper in between it. I'm going to pin. Ouch. Don't pin your finger. It hurts. I probably should have done these in different colors so you could see a little better what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got the lining. So I have the outside, the zipper, and then the lining. And I'm gonna follow that same seam there. Coming up to that zipper pull, so I'm going to put the needle down, lift up the zipper foot. Come on, I guess I wasn't that close. Move that pin and slide that past. There we go. Put the zipper foot back down. And then continue sewing. And you know what? I think I came unthreaded partway through. Yep, I didn't have thread, so I have to redo that seam. Oh, and I have to thread my needle. Can I do it? Well, my needle came unthreaded. And we'll see if I can thread my needle with my eyeballs. Come on, go, go, go.
Lenore says she used to make hair barrettes from small candy bar wrappers.
Come on. You could do that too. Come on. Yay, I got it. Got it threaded. Okay, so I'm gonna do that one again. I love it when things like that happen. That's life, right? Your needle comes unthreaded while you're doing a live. Okay, and again, I'm sandwiching that zipper in between the front of my outside piece. And we're going to try that again. Lift. Okay, I'm getting close to the zipper pull. Slide it. Put the foot. Much better. It's much better when you have thread in your needle.
Amazing how that works.
Okay, so here we have fronts. We have zipper and then we have lining. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch right along the edge there. So I'm going to pull this. I'm not going to use the pins. I'm just going to pull this. So I'm going to top stitch very close to the edge, going through all the layers right along that zipper. And I'm going to, yeah, that's good. That's just going to lay everything in place. And I'll do the same thing for the other side. Gonna pull that snug. I'm just moving in like 1/8 of an inch and doing a top stitch. How am I doing on time? I am running out of time. Okay, so let's do this real quick. Next thing, now we are going to sew the fronts, the outsides together, and then we are going to sew the linings together. And you want to make sure that your zipper is facing your lining. So I'm going to move this down. You want to make sure your zipper pieces are facing the lining. I'm going to pin. And I'm going to pin. To pin. Okay, and zipper pieces facing the lining. And then I'm just going to sew completely around this. I'm going to make sure I don't run out of time. I think I'll have just enough time. Now I will tell you, when you go to sew the plastic part, my presser feet don't always catch it. So sometimes I kind of have to help it along. Now I'm going to start on the lining end, and I'm going to leave a little opening, a little gap, so that I can turn it. So I'm just going to go about 1 inch in here, and I'm going to take it off of zipper foot. And I'm just going to sew to the corner, drop the needle, pick it up, turn it, and you know what, I'm going to do a little bit smaller length stitch. Part here where all of these layers are, I'm just going to go very slow over it, or I'll break my needle. And I may need to even just pull the, do the flywheel manually. Now I'm on just the plastic, and this part, like I said, my gripper feet don't always pick it up, so I might have to just kind of pull it along myself. All the way to the corner, and I'm going to drop that needle, pick this up and turn it. Now I'm doing about a 1/4 inch seam, maybe 3/8 of an inch seam. You can do wider, you can do narrower. And again, I'm towards all of this bulk, so I'm going to slow it down so I don't break my needle. Oops. And it's going downhill, so I'm going to walk it down slowly. And one more, drop the needle, pick it up, turn it, and I'm going to go in just about an inch. And pull it out of here. We are almost done. So now I'm going to just trim these corners. I'm going to just take a little triangle off. I don't want to come straight up to that stitching, but I want to get like up to 1/8 of an inch. Because I want to reduce the bulk. And now I'm going to, here's my little cheat. So I'm gonna end up having to sew this opening closed, so I'm just going to kind of finger press it right now so I can sew that up in just a moment. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it inside out. Now I want to make sure that zipper is open as much as possible, and I'm going to start down here and pull up this corner, and then I'm going to pull up this corner. And before I finish, I want to take something not sharp, but something kind of pointy, and I want to push out that corner as much as possible. It's probably not going to be a sharp corner. I want to push that out. And then I'm going to continue pulling this out. I'm going to take this, do the same thing. I'm going to push those corners out. And I'm going to sew up. I'm not going to do it because I'm running out of time, but I'm just going to sew across here and seal that up. And then stick it in here. Finish pushing out those corners. And it's a little wonky because I haven't completely pulled that out. And then get my zipper started. Come on, let go. It's stuck in that. There we go. So here we have a zippered pouch made out of a candy bag. I'm going to go back through, I'm going to kind of push out these corners a little bit more, and I'm going to seal up that lining, but cute little bag with a lining. You don't have to do the lining, but it sure makes it look a lot more finished and nice looking. So there you go. I hope you liked my little segment on grocery store trash to treasures. And I hope you'll follow us if you're not already following us at Raincross Farms Makery. And we hope you do something creative every day and just have fun. So we will see you later. Keep watching the next presenter on Craft Around the Clock. Bye-bye, everybody.